This is my 11th Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPN Cricinfo. I'm Ronald Kapoor and Andrew McGlashan is all set to join me as we try to build our fantasy team for the third T20I between Australia and New Zealand. Right, let's go to our pro tip first up for this one. New Zealand, of course, with a 2-0 advantage in this series, looking to seal the 5-match series. And the average score in the last 3 T20Is at Wellington is 186. The ground has been good to both spinners and pace bowlers. So balance your team with a mix of all types of players. We'll get all types of players surely, Nasha, won't we?
Yeah, it's interesting actually with this ground in Wellington. It has the slowest run rate of any of New Zealand's T20I venues for the men's team, just about 8 and over compared to upwards of 9, touching 10 at some of the other venues. So it is a place the bowlers can have more of a say. It might not just be the 6-hitting fest that we've seen in the first 2 games.
Interesting. Let's see how that affects our decision making for our fantasy side. Let's go to it. Before that, a quick reminder, the My 11 Circle Fantasy app, 100 credits for every user to build their fantasy team, 4 categories of players to choose from: batsmen, bowlers, wicket keepers, and all-rounders. Every player's individual credit value is listed on the app. You can pick up a maximum of 7 players from one team in any given contest, and we'll throw in 4 substitute options for you towards the end of this video as well. Let's go to our top picks. Our captain choice is Kane Williamson. Now, Williamson scored that stroke-filled 53 from 35 balls in the last T20I. He has multiple gears. He's a safe fantasy player, and as Nasha mentioned, maybe it won't quite be the 6th fest, so you might as well have bank and rely on Kane Williamson. Vice-captain option, Glenn Maxwell, who rarely ever has a failure in the shortest format for Australia. He is due for a big one, though, after making just 4 runs so far in this series. He's got a strike rate of over 156 in this format and 3 centuries, so he's a key player in the Australia T20I batting lineup. Williamson is captain, Maxwell is vice-captain. They give you double and 1.5 times the points, respectively. Couple of New Zealanders round off our top picks. Mitchell Santner first up, leading wicket taker with 5 wickets so far, and also the second best economy rate. The Aussie batsmen do seem to have struggled against the spin of Sodhi and Santner in the first 2 T20Is, so we're backing Mitchell Santner once more. Along with Martin Guptill, who got some sort of form back with that 97 of 50 balls. And if Guptill can keep his form going, he could be very useful in your fantasy team. When he does get those big runs like he did in the last game, he gets you lots of points as well. Kane Williamson is captain, Glenn Maxwell vice-captain, Santner and Guptill wrap up our top picks. 3 Kiwis in that, Nasha. What do you make of it?
I think that's fair. They have been the better side in this series so far. Interesting with Glenn Maxwell there as the vice-captain. Always hard to say no because he can be so destructive. But as you said, he has had a poor start to this series, and it almost be quite a brave choice because he could fail again. He might not bowl much. So quite a brave pick. You might be tempted to promote Martin Guptill into that VC position. He has found some form, and when he does start hitting them like he did the other day in Dunedin, he's almost unstoppable in this format. So you may want to consider, he is a boundary hitter too, so that will get you some points. So you may want to consider Guptill for that VC position. But yeah, you always know Maxwell, he's always due. If he's due a score, he's likely to come off.
All right, fair enough. Now, would you go Williamson and Guptill together at the top? If a couple of wickets do fall, then Devon Conway becomes an important player. He's in our differential picks, pick of the batsman in the first game with that unbeaten 99 at Christchurch. Didn't get much of an opportunity in the second game, came down lower down the order, but if there are a few early wickets, Conway could be vital for New Zealand. He's a value pack in our minds. Kane Richardson, along with Conway in our differential picks. Now, death bowlers usually good for fantasy. They bowl at times, but they're likely to get you wickets. And even though Richardson has been expensive, he has the tendency to get you wickets. He took 3 for 43 in the previous game and bowled pretty well at the death. So Devon Conway and Kane Richardson in our differential picks. Our full teams, he's Matthew Wade as a keeper option. Devon Conway, Martin Guptill, Kane Williamson. Williamson is our recommended captain. Asher wouldn't mind you hedging your bets and going for Guptill as your vice-captain. We've gone with Maxwell as our official vice-captain, Marcus Stoinis, Mitchell Santner, Jai Richardson, Adam Zampa, Kane Richardson and Trent Bolt. Substitutes bench features the likes of Aaron Finch, Tim Southee, Ish Sodhi and Daniel Sams. Any of those subs that you'd like to swap into the 11? Any last thoughts, Nasha?
I'd be tempted to try and have Jimmy Neesham in the mix there somewhere. He's had a very impactful series so far, striking almost 200 and bowled that brave last over. So he's having a good time with the bat. I think you'd be a pretty brave person to bring Aaron Finch into your team at the moment. He's certainly one of the more popular players on the circuit. I think everyone wants him to score some runs in this game, but he doesn't look in great nick. So that'd be a pretty brave selection, I think, if you promoted him into your 11 for this game.
All right, Nasha, thank you very much. As always, get your thoughts ahead of the next T20I as well. This was a wrap of our fantasy team for the third T20I between Australia and New Zealand on My 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPN Cricinfo.